Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Nadia Nabila binti Ghazali. Today I will present my individual self-reflection for UBM599 Digital Workforce. My reflection focus on two topics: cross-searching fundamental and cross-searching opportunities and challenges. In this presentation, I will explain how my understanding of cross-searching developed through practical activities such as preparing a digital profile, reviewing project, writing proposal, submitting bid, and participating in contests. I will also discuss the challenges I experienced, the skill I developed, and how this learning is relevant to my present work and future career. Before taking this course, I understand online freelancing mainly as an individual offering service to a client through the internet. However, I did not clearly understand how freelancing relates to the wider crowd-sourcing system. Through this course, I learned the crowd-sourcing involved more than just a client and workers. It is an ecosystem that connects client, digital workers, and online platform. The platform support communication, payment procedure, review, project listing, and dispute mechanism. Cross-searching also allows organizations to obtain ideas, services, and solutions from people in different locations. Although this creates greater access to opportunities, it also introduces competition, payment concerns, privacy risks, and uncertain outcome. Therefore, my reflection considers both the benefit and responsibilities involved in becoming a digital worker. My learning journey can be divided into three stages: before, during, and after. Before the course, I assumed that creating a complete profile and listing several skills would be enough to attract clients. I also view online works mainly as an easy way to earn additional income. During the course, I create digital profile, review project, advertisement, prepare proposal, and participate in bidding and contest activity. This practical activity show me that registration is only the beginning. A digital worker must actively search for suitable opportunities, study the client requirement, communicate professionally, and continue building credibility. After completing this activity, I become more selective and realistic. I now understand that digital success is not immediate. It requires consistent effort, relevant skill, and professional reputation and continuous improvement. One important learning experience was understanding the difference between project and contest. For a project, I had to submit a proposal explaining how my experience and skill could meet the client requirements. This required me to understand the scope, propose a realistic approach, and convince the client that I was suitable for the work. A contest was different because I had to interpret the brief and submit an actual entry while competing with other participants. This involved more uncertainty because I could spend time producing the entry without receiving any payment if it was not selected. From this experience, I learned not to assess an opportunity based only on the advertised payment. I must also consider the required skill, deliverable deadline, revision, competition, and amount of effort involved. A higher payment does not necessarily mean that the opportunity is suitable or worthwhile. Activities were useful, but I also found them challenging. Some of my proposals received no response, while several contest entries were not selected. At first, I felt disappointed because I had spent a considerable amount of time and effort preparing each submission. However, after reviewing my work, I realized that rejection does not necessarily mean I'm not capable. The outcome may depend on factors such as competition, pricing, timing, the client's preference, and whether my proposal clearly addressed the project requirement. I noticed that my earlier proposals were but too general. I explained my background and experience, but I did not clearly show I could help the client. As I gained more experience, I learned to focus on the client's main need, explain how I would complete the task and offer realistic, reliable. I also improved the way I manage my time by dividing each task into 4 stages: screening, planning, drafting, and checking. This approach helped me balance the course activities with my employment, university work, and personal responsibilities. The topic of privacy, intellectual property, and professional integrity were especially relevant to my experience in legal documentation and administration. In legal work, confidential client information cannot be disclosed. This simply because it may be useful as a work sample. The same principle applies in digital work. Before placing complete work in a portfolio, a worker must consider confidentiality, client permission, and the agreed ownership term. I also learned to identify warning signs when screening project. This include vague instruction, unrealistic payment promise, request for unnecessary personal information, and pressure to communicate or receive payment outside the platform. Although a platform may provide communication record and payment protection, workers must still protect themselves. They should retain evidence, clarify the scope, and confirm the deliverable, revision payment, and ownership before starting. Most importantly, a professional should reject plagiarism, false review, misleading content, or any task that conflict with ethical standards. This course helped me develop several practical and transferable skills. First, I learned how digital platform connects clients, workers, payment arrangement, and review system. Second, I improved my ability to screen projects by considering their scope, budget, deadlines, requirement, and potential risks. Third, proposal writing strengthened my professional communication. I learned to address the client's actual needs, use clear language, and avoid promise that I could not confidently fulfill. I also developed greater awareness of confidentiality, intellectual property, and ethical decision making. These skills are relevant beyond cross-searching. My current legal and administrative work also required accuracy, proper documentation, clear communication, and protection of confidential information. In the future, these abilities can support freelancing, client management, and my goal of progressing into a leadership or management position. Cross-searching offers several benefits, include access to international client, flexible working arrangement, portfolio development, and additional income opportunities. It also allows individuals to use their existing skill in a wider marketplace. However, my most important insight is that flexibility comes with responsibility. A digital worker must independently manage time, equipment, communication skill development, payment risk, and professional reputation. Therefore, flexibility does not mean that the work is easy or free from pressure. The course also increased my confidence in my existing experience. Skills such as document management, confidentiality, organization, and client communication can be adapted to the digital workforce. At the same time, I recognize a personal weakness. I am detail-oriented, but I sometimes spend too much time perfecting minor matter. Moving forward, I need to balance quality with efficiency by allocating time according to the importance and value of tasks. Although the course provides valuable practical exposure, I believe several improvements could depend Student learning first, an ecosystem mapping activity could help students understand the relationship between client workers, platform, payment reviews, and risk. Second, a project screening workshop could use example of genuine and suspicious listing. Students could access the scope, client history, deadline, and request for proposal for personal information, and then explain whether they would accept or reject the opportunities. That a proposal writing clinic could compare weak and improve proposal. This would help students understand why certain proposals are more persuasive and client-centered. The course could also include Malaysia scenario involving personal data, confidential document ownership, payment dispute, and additional work outside the agreed scope. Finally, a reflection log would encourage students to evaluate the quality of their decision instead of concentrating only on the number of submissions complete. In conclusion, this course changed my understanding of cross-searching. I no longer view it as simply a quick way to earn additional income. I now understand it as a professional system connecting client, platform workers, payment review, and different task formats. The practical activity taught me that success required more than technical ability. A digital worker must select suitable opportunities, communication clearly, manage time, protect confidential information, and maintain professional integrity. Moving forward, I will screen opportunities more carefully, prepare client counter proposal, and clarify the scope, revision payment, and ownership before beginning any project. I will also maintain proper communication records and continue improving my digital communication and design skill. Overall, sustainable success in cross-searching depends on useful skill, responsible conduct, resilience, and continuous learning. I intend to apply this lesson in my current career and any future digital work.